take away some of the shadow.
Alrighty, everybody. It's 7:30 on Sunday. Here with my buddy John Schmitz, tuning in all the way from Florida.
Johnny Florida.
Yeah, I do like Johnny Florida as a nickname for you. Like,
hey, I'll take it. It's better than some of the other ones people have given me.
Are you Johnny Suitcase too, by the way?
Yeah, that was in my cycling name. So, and I did pick up a group ride down here. I just it's yesterday, and it's funny because some of these people are racers, and they've actually been to the Indy Crit up in Indianapolis.
Wow, okay.
Oh yeah, so I said it's a small world unless you have to ride around it. So,
John, you're such an introvert, though. Like, I can't imagine you just making friends with new people all the time.
It is. It's a curse that I have sometimes. But
I tell people, sounds like it's going pretty well, though.
You know what? It's been like a retreat. In all senses of the word, and I teased your viewers with an announcement. We'll keep them on for a little bit before we get to that point. I'm just going to interject that in our conversation when that comes up. I think it's a pretty major move for me politically. So,
you're going to become a Democrat.
Hey, just calm down.
Okay, I'm like, I was just like,
don't rush it.
Flicker of hope. I'm like, oh my god.
It's it has been very interesting. We've been here a month, and I didn't really know what to expect. We've never been snowbirds. I've visited here, but vacation and actually living is a whole different mindset. And there's negatives. I mean, there are not very many during this time of the year. I mean, I'm a very outdoors person. If you follow me on, any of the social media, you'll see I go fishing, I ride the bike outside, playing golf.
You don't sit still.
Yeah. And so wintertime has always been I've always suffered from seasonal depression. And it used to be worse. One of the things that I helped with that was I quit getting people Christmas gifts because that was just adding a whole nother layer of stress to my life. That sort of helped. I quit doing that about 14 years ago. My kids, they didn't like that very much. But they understood that it was just another layers of stress, with the daylight getting lower. Can't do outside. My masonry work is always harder during the year because everything's frozen, so
it's not supposed to get over freezing for like the next week, I think here.
Well, so, it's going to be 20.
I'm very jealous of you, Don.
Well, it's going to be
how far away are you from Mar-a-Lago? Just out of curiosity.
About 2.5 hours. I talked to somebody about playing golf down there.
Wait, like you're going to ride your bike there?
I wouldn't ride with my clubs on my bike. No, I wouldn't ride there. But so we're near Orlando. So they say if you go, further south, if you don't want cold weather, but the cold weather is going all the way down. Tonight's going to be the coldest night. It'll be about 25 or 6 degrees here. So the iguanas are falling out of the trees, or as Trump would say, the iguanas, they're eating the iguanas.
They're eating the iguanas. They're eating the cats.
And everybody, it's just hilarious. So I did the church pew review today, and the one church was closed that we were going to go to because the heat wasn't working. Their heater went out. So, and the other people, so we went around the corner like a block away to another church, great church. But these people were like in parkas. They had mittens on. It was,
John, the heat wasn't working, but what was the temperature?
It was only got up to 45 or 6, but the sun's out. The sun being out makes, it feels 10 degrees warmer. So I'm like, I could be in a t-shirt today. It wasn't terrible. Now, yesterday.
And so you've been doing the church, your church program, right? Like,
church pew review. We go to a different church every week. And then I do a review of it. And it's funny because I don't know if you're familiar with the Dave Portnoy who does the pizza review. Sort of
Is he
got
like the Barstool Sports?
yeah,
guy?
Barstool
Okay.
sports guy. So I thought, you know what? I go to all these different churches. Why not do a review? And and that's part of get back to your question about the Florida thing and being down here in the retreat. No politics. I mean, really, my only ties have been the mouthwash show with you guys and Witty and that. But for the most part, it's been sort of nice not having somebody sue me or try to throw me in jail or follow me around or what. It's been sort of nice. I don't even know I know the governor's DeSantis. That's it. I don't care who's doing.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And he's got those like lovely little white boots. So
yeah. So it has just been very. So it's really sort of changed our life. So we're probably going to close on our house on the 20th. So it escalated very quickly to how much we like this. And I thought Lisa would be sort of a harder sell, but there's Brad, do you remember Ken Avador that was on our show, the artist?
I do not.
He was on here. He might have been on before you even.
I'm usually pretty tanked during shows, so,
so don't ask me.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So he was an artist that was on 10th Street in that 10th Street corridor over there, and he moved to Florida. Well, I didn't really know where. I've seen him, but I'm like you. I was sort of paying attention, but he's actually moved to Mount Dora. So we went to the art festival there yesterday, and I didn't even know that we would have looked him up. But that art festival is huge. It's a one time a year. There's 1,000 vendors there. It takes up, 10 square blocks of the city. It was huge. So it's Lisa's really, that's what she does with her. She has an artist collective. So just to clear up,
I bet Lisa's loving it.
Yeah, she's been sewing her little.
You didn't make this decision all on your own. That's
no. Well, no. You happy wife, happy life. There's two people. There's two people in a marriage. One's right, and the other's the husband. So I know all those little cliches.
John, I was really kind of excited though to have you on tonight because of like all the stuff that's happening in Minneapolis, just specifically with churches. With Don Lemon, former CNN anchor, was arrested because he was part of a protest, or he was at least just asking questions and filming during the protest. And him and I believe 3 other journalists were arrested a few days ago. But I'm not sure also if like all of the protesters were arrested, if they just targeted Lemon because he's like the most visible, person involved in all this. I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on.
Yeah, I'm sort of mixed. I'm mixed on this because I mean, as you know, I was able to get a press pass with mouthwash at the State House, and so I'm a little, I guess I have a sort of an inside look at that. I think it was, what I'm saying is you see all this fraud and all these things going on both the R and the D side and all this going around, and they go after Don Lemon. I mean, come on. To me, they're sort of making a martyr out of him. He was just there. Yeah, is he dopey? Yeah, he asks dumb questions and he doesn't know what laws are laws and what a misdemeanor. I saw a video that he didn't even know what a misdemeanor. That's not breaking the law. Misdemeanor is not breaking the law. I'm like,
it's not a felony. Yeah, I mean, but
it's not a felony or anything, but it's not, you know what I'm saying? But if you're going to ask those kind of questions, you need to be a little bit more. And I compare him to, remember when Geraldo Rivera had, he had the vault. We got Al Capone or somebody's vault.
Yeah,
we're going to open it up, and it was empty.
Run that risk on live TV, man. Like, but
it made him famous.
He went for it. That was.
I even have a fraternity brother of mine that was doing journalism just like you and I are doing right now. And back in California, I don't know if you remember the Moonies. They actually had it was a cult, like a Jim Jones cult or whatever. They actually thought they were going to be transcending, and they all killed themselves. Well, my fraternity brother, he was a journalist that went out with the camera. This was back in the 90s or late 80s even. And he was the first, and that gave him he was the first guy on the scene to report on it. And the San Diego people liked it. And then he was the morning guy for 20 years there, got 12 Emmys being the morning guy. So you just don't know when that break's going to come. But I think Don Lemon's going the wrong, a little bit going the wrong way. That's what I mean.
Like, I don't know that other journalists, like say you found out that there was a bank robbery going to happen. just off the top of my head, like, and you're an independent reporter. Would you just tag along with the bank robbers and not assist, but just be like, Mr. Bank Director, can you comment on what it feels like to be robbed at this time?
Yeah, well, I compared a little bit to January 6th. So I had, at least from my recollection, at least 2 different people or groups that wanted me to go to January 6th. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? Getting in somebody else's quarrel is like grabbing a stray dog by the ears. Not my monkey, not my circus. And I was so glad I didn't go. But I know people that went and didn't get in trouble. But I'm thinking, why would I want to put myself in harm's way for what? I mean, you know, I don't get that.
Well,
So
I mean, I think the big thing is to document, because like you said, like,
yeah,
unless there are people that are going to carry a story or, you know, just report on it, there is no documentation of it. So I kind of think that the DOJ right now is making Lemon into a martyr, like you said, but then also
lemon into lemonade.
Oh, and the White House had that little. The White House sent out a tweet. It was like, you know, when life gives you lemons, and then it was just making fun of him in jail.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm trying to keep on to the comments here because we got that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
see,
like,
and I thought a lot. Tommy Ice just put in, you know.
I don't know even. Oh, Steve Baker of Blaze TV was arrested. For January 6th. So it's very what he's trying to say is
but I know that there have been other reporters or other people from January 6th that have given their, you know, footage documentaries and stuff, and I don't think that they were arrested for that. I have a problem though with, I guess, like, should Lemon have been arrested though?
No, I think
if he was a reporter,
it's a no call. There's a foul there, but it's a no call. And I would say that you know, to move into to bring this into the ICE problem in Minneapolis, it is. And if you want to use some church language, some scripture, so to speak, it's just one of those things where render to Caesar what's Caesar's. These ICE agents, we could just call them the Pharisees or the Romans. We could say the ICE agents are the Romans. They are enforcing the law, just as the Romans scared the crap out of people with crucifixion. I mean, that was used as a mental and just it was the worst type of treatment you could do to somebody, is crucify them. And basically they crucified them naked and left them hanging on a cross out on the road. So, you know, that's extreme. That's like calling Trump a Nazi. That's extreme. There's Nazis. They're their own category. I hate it when people.
I think everything is its own category. I don't think that we should be comparing anything to Nazis. We shouldn't be like, what is happening now is different than everything that we've had before. There's different technology. There's different like media, like everything that we can take from like those past experiences. We can, but we can't compare it to those. I guess it's very different.
No, it's well, we need to learn from history, and they say history repeats itself, but it doesn't repeat itself exactly. So with the Minneapolis situation, I think that both sides are handling this poorly. There's another proverb that if you want a fire to die down or a quarrel to die down, quit adding wood to it. Well, all the ICE had to simply do was back out for a month. Just go away for a month or whatever, and then come back. If you're going to come back and do that, come back. But let the fire die down.
And John, you're a Republican, right? Like,
well, I would say I don't know. I'm as much a Republican as you are a Democrat. Okay,
I will take that. All right, yeah.
All right.
I just mean, you saying that, you know, ICE should remove itself for just even a little bit. Like, I agree with that, and I think how hard is it to convince other Republicans of that?
Well, nobody wants to back down, and the words that they use are flip flop or weak, or they work on that premise of the perception. The perception is we're going to look weak. But it's just so. I mean, I don't even know what
part
to
of the
expect
same
more.
country. Like that's the thing that I think is lost, is how divided they were able to get us. And I don't know who they is, but still, like, you and I are not that far apart on a lot of issues, and yet they try to just keep driving
They keep
wedges.
the wedge. The wedge is big.
And it's
wedge.
really hard for both. Like, I feel like there's agitators on both sides. I feel like I myself is somewhat of an agitator. I like to poke.
I don't know. You need to take some lessons from a Cassie Jackson if you want to be a real agitator.
No, oh no. Cassie's in that's its own category right there. I think that I think it's just going to have to be people meeting in the middle a lot on things, but it's so hard to maintain, like, oh, I'm a Democrat, but I like the Second Amendment. It's like, yeah, I love the second. Like, that makes sense to me. And it's like Republicans can't just all hate on, the First Amendment,
right,
if it suits them. And it's like, we have to remember that we all have to be a part of this, otherwise it's not going to work.
Yep. So I want to, I'm not running the show or anything, but I want to put this one. We got Jennifer. She's one of our loyal mouthwash, and most of the clowns protesting are kids brainwashed. So I want to, keep things moving. And so, I mean, I've really sort of mixed on this. And this goes to my whole theory on education. Let's let kids be kids. And I'm not saying, okay, kids, this is, you can't be in adult problems or whatever, but I mean, this is really sort of pushing it up. I mean, this is sort of,
and I got this from the walkouts and student actions. The ACLU, I put this up on the screen here. They made like a little brochure for the upcoming week of February 1st through the 6th, and it has a list of I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
again,
8, 9, 10, 11 towns / cities with. Well, and okay, I would agree that
we would have walked out for anything back in the day. I mean, and I know you would too. You're grinning already, like, let's go, let's do it now.
Because Tiffany called me out because on one of the other pages I put, well, can the kids sign up for both protests, like the ones that are anti-ICE and the ones that are pro-government agencies? And I'm like, well, yeah, can't the students just go to both? And my whole thing is that students will always err on the side of getting out of class.
yeah, you know that well. And then Jennifer made a point. Well, they're not even old enough to vote, but they will be. And I think that is and who knows what they'll vote on. I know that we were told in high school certain things that didn't come out to be true, like you could be anything you want. Well, I want to be a ballerina, and that ain't going to happen. So those are the type of.
You just got to stretch, John.
I know it's all about stretching.
Yeah.
But it is. I just let our kids be kids. I'm dragging them into this. 2 people have already been killed. High profile. I'm sure there's been other injuries, other situations. And it's. I say it's 2 things never should have happened. That these people should have never been killed, and they should have never been in that position. So. And that's the problem with this.
But I think too, with you kind of saying that ICE should back away for a month just to let the embers die out. I mean, I feel like they were the aggressor in that whole scenario.
Well, and I don't think we get the whole story. I think that these, you don't get the level of frustration if you're being everywhere you go, you're being badgered, and I think that some people have to escalate it to that point where they get so frustrated, they're willing to risk their lives. And while we're on that subject, if you're a Christian, and Jesus said there's no greater love than to lay your life down for somebody else. So you could honestly say that those two people that died, they were laying their life down for somebody they didn't even know. If you want to go that
Yeah,
way,
but they've been getting ripped on about that.
well, I know that, and that's
I mean,
and
it's like
that's
I've seen,
because
yeah, I've seen posts about like, oh, you gave up your life for some Somali immigrant that won't ever like some violent criminal, and how does that make sense? And like, I completely agree with what you're saying, though. Like, I get that vision of what his death might mean, but there's also that hatred of, why would you ever help that side kind of a thing.
well, that is exactly right. It doesn't matter what it is. And you hear the comment, Trump could cure cancer and they would still find it all, he'd find an awful thing. And there's some validity to that. People get caught up. I call it, there's two kinds of mercy. There's self-mercy and there's mercy. That mercy that you give to somebody else, it's really, really hard to do that, but it's really easy to give yourself mercy. To let yourself, well, it's me. So those type of mercies are interesting. And if you like somebody, you let them slide. You
You
let them
do.
slide on stuff. If you don't, and if you don't know somebody, I mean,
Absolutely.
if you don't know somebody, that's so.
But that
Recently,
goes both ways, though. If you don't know somebody, you can assume so much about about why they're there, what their intentions were. Were they, why would you carry a 9mm with, two magazines to a protest? I know everything I know about you now. You deserve to die.
yeah. Well,
Like, that's,
I mean,
that is the scariest part about everybody. The amount of times that I saw the words "case closed" after Renee Good, people would post the video and be like, "She tried to run over an officer. She deserved, she deserved what was coming.
I don't
Case
think
closed."
either.
And I'm like, how do you guys go from, well, we need to see all the evidence in the Epstein files to case closed? This is done now. It's just very difficult to.
And like I said, the justification that the way that people get to that point and that's the the psychology of things. It's like we want to be in a group, in a tribe. Andrew Horning, a good friend of ours on the show and things. He it's tribalism. So
it is, and my dad says the same stuff too. It's like he's never seen anything like it either. And I guess actually, like, John, like, how, when we talk about Republicans and Democrats and like the kids being involved in the things, like, how did you become a Republican? Like, did you know you were a Republican like as a kid, or like were you were you indoctrinated?
No, I really wasn't. My parents were somewhat Republican. All I remember was my mother hated Birch Bayh, and I don't know why. But we're talking about in the 70s.
Yeah.
But in the good old days, you had the working class were Democrats, and I don't know why we weren't Democrats, because we were poor. I would say we were middle. We were like not poor middle class. We weren't like the middle class. My parents struggled to get us all through college. It was always what we have to have and not what we want to have. We never had a new car. Well, maybe once. That type of stuff. We had leftovers. To this day, I don't eat leftovers because it reminds me of our.
I freaking love. I could, man, go to town on leftovers.
Yeah, well, really not. And I wasn't political till about 8 years ago. And this might be a good time when I said I would work this in on what my political aspirations are. I want to, you only get rewarded if you watch the show for this long. So, and it may not be a reward, but, since I've been down here in Florida, I've just enjoyed the peace and quiet. And I think some people say, well, you're going to run for something else. I had people ask me, are you going to run the deadlines next Friday to run for something this year? I'm definitely not doing that. And in fact, we are going to claim residency here in Florida when we close on our new house, which would make me ineligible to run for anything but Congress. And that ain't happening. Now, I'm not going to say never. Whenever you say never, you cause a problem. But unless there's some way that I can make a difference and that I can actually get in a race that I can win and not 4-1, 3-1 Democrat, Republican, because a lot of folks just vote the party. And I would have an opportunity probably for the Indiana Senate coming up in the next couple of years. But I really have enjoyed the peace and quiet, and so if we claim residency now, I know that's some folks are going to ask some other questions. What about the art center? What about your house? What about your business? Well, my business has been 35 years. I've had some of my employees have been 20, 22 years with me. The guy that runs my crew has been with me for 23 years. They take care of business. I can run the construction company from here. And when I say residency, that means over 6 months of the year. So we would be, obviously the winter is a good time to come, and then just other sporadic times to fill in the difference. But the art center, we were talking about folks that jump to a conclusion because they don't know you. We've had people accuse us of being grifters in Mars Hill, that we were just in there to make money. Well, there's a news flash. So the Mars Hill Art Center is a nonprofit. Legally, we cannot take any money back. So all the $300,000 or $400,000 that we put into that building, we're giving it away. We're going to still we're still operating everything in Indianapolis. Don't anybody think that we're leaving you high and dry. We're still doing that. 11 years we've been in Mars Hill with the Art Center. That will remain a nonprofit. That will remain a nonprofit. We will probably, when we get to the point where we are going to move it on, we will sell the building to the nonprofit, basically. And it will continue to be either the Art Center or whatever that nonprofit wants. It might be Save the Cats. We don't know, but it will be.
You built it up really well.
And we've spent a lot. We've done a lot of stuff in there. But what hurts is that people call you a grifter, or they look at me and they say, "Well, I'm just tall and white. He's got to be a Republican, and he's not going to be doing anything for the community," and that's sort of hurts because all of the work we've done there, we don't need to be patted on the back. We don't need that.
Well, no. And John, I feel too, like with all the work that you guys have done, and for as long as it has gone on, there is, and I don't say that you guys have this, but there's a frustration of when you're helping and you don't see anybody in authority or in a position of power really kind of trying to help.
Not only that, but it's worse. They send inspectors to my house. I had 56 violations on my house because of political retribution. Straight up from the mayor, right down through the health department and the thing. And they're arresting Don Lemon. What's really frustrating. It's like, wait a second. These people get away with this stuff. And nothing happens. No one cares.
But that's the funniest part too, is when we have a president who is coming out against fraud in Minnesota. And I'm like, the guy can't open a charity in New York because of fraud issues in the past. Like his whole company cannot do that because they've defrauded people in charities with charity. Like, so why do you think that this guy that's in office now would, is actually looking for fraud? He's the more I keep looking into it, it's all about
figureheads. We need to realize they're just figureheads. You look at the Clinton Foundation and their Ponzi scheme they had going down in Haiti. I don't know how they come up with this stuff. I don't know. Let's see. Let's pick a country and then act like we're helping it. And then they pay their daughter. They paid their daughter $900,000 a year out of the Clinton Foundation. I mean,
that's what I mean. That money exists in the world.
Yes,
and it goes towards that.
Yeah.
Why? Like, and it's all the same people on the same boards too. We'll
I need to get on those boards. Let's see. The Art Center boards only cost me $400,000. I'm on the KG board, right, which is a free, sort of a situation. But I don't, it's like, my father-in-law used to say the guy with 9 million is not much happier than the guy with 8 million. It gets to a point where you have more, and I'm a big believer in daily bread. I'm a big believer in the Lord's Prayer and give us our daily bread. That daily bread is enough for us to get by. I have enough to buy a house here in Florida, but I don't have a lot of extra.
No, you're very blessed. Like that. and I don't think that you take that for granted at all either. Like I feel like I don't like the religion where it's like, God said that I deserve this, and
The Joel
I'm going
Osteen
to,
prosperity. Yeah.
It's difficult to understand that view of God or Jesus.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they'd be
I
like,
don't think
you're
it's
gonna like me if I like shiny stuff,
yeah. Well, it's, the Joel Osteen, the
Oh, the mega church down in Texas. Yeah.
that's their prosperity teaching. Rick Warren out in California, he's it's a purpose driven life is his. I could get closer to that, but it's more of a deeds type.
Let
of
me
thing.
ask you about this, because like we're going back to churches and stuff, and Don Lemon, I guess.
Poor Don. He'll be fine. He'll probably gain from this.
I just didn't understand how it led to them having to go arrest him in person at the Grammys or whatever. Like,
well, you gotta, if you're gonna arrest somebody,
send them a ticket.
Make it a
like,
show.
What? Just send them a ticket. Like what?
It's sort of like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Oh yeah,
same deal. It just you got to go for the big bang, or raiding Trump's house in Mar-a-Lago. I mean, this is what we're at. We're in this tit for tat game right now, and it's doing nothing but
exactly. Yeah, it is very tit for tat.
Object.
Yeah,
and the Epstein file, all that stuff. That do something that we're going forward with. Lower our price of eggs. Let's get whatever. I don't know.
Let's get John Rust on here. Talk about some eggs again.
And the tolls. Get him started on toll roads.
I know. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, the second question though, this has been brought up by a couple of people on Twitter. And then so would parishioners have been justified in attacking the protesters? Because according to everything, it's been, this is because of the FACE Act, I think, and you can't,
there's certain areas that you have to,
but they're saying that people felt endangered. And so Tim Kramer, I'll read this because it's pretty dang small.
I'll put my glasses on.
Says, Second Amendment exists to ensure Democrats don't try to convince their base terrorizing churches is a First Amendment right. And so I responded back. I was like, so following your logic, the churchgoers would have been justified in shooting Don Lemon.
Well, that's a good comment.
Well, but and so there's a lot of people like, well, Drew, go Drew. I don't think they should have been shot, beaten up, yes, but not shot. Somebody else put, now you're getting it. I wouldn't have lost any sleep over it, says one person. Well, it was a terroristic threat. Absolutely, says another. And then God gave Samson the jawbone of a donkey to do just that. You have a problem with that? And I didn't understand that reference because...
Oh, you didn't? Yeah,
no, could you kind
of... He used to go to battle, and that was his weapon.
Wait, so so this guy is saying that...
Yeah, okay. I knew once you got that, you chuckle a little bit. But, Old Testament stuff, it's like they talked about slavery in the Old Testament. And this, if you read a lot of the stories about, the God told him to go in and slaughter everybody, all of them. Don't keep the good ones. Well, Saul goes in and he keeps the good ones. It's hey, she's pretty. I'm going to keep her. Or I like that cow over there. That's a good cow. Let's keep that one. And God said, hey, they're supposed to all go, and they didn't. So the Old Testament is Old Testament.
John, this has like over 1,000 likes on Facebook. Like, and not that likes mean anything, but like.
It is a following. It's like an ICE demonstration. There's thousands of people out there in the streets for the ICE thing. It does help carry weight, but it's also a divisive thing. And we've had Tim on our show.
Yes.
And he's got an agenda, just like Don Lemon's got an agenda, just like anyone has an agenda that's in this social media, like Nick Shirley. He's got an agenda.
Oh, is he? That's the guy who...
It's exposing the fraud and
the fraud and stuff in Minneapolis or in Minnesota.
Oh, now he's out in California, which I think we are, Doge.
Well, when you do something like that, it sounds like you're grifting at that point. Like, I could see myself doing that for Indiana and then stopping because I live here. But if you start just doing that and going to another state and being like, let me figure out what is wrong with you guys.
Well, I mean, think about it. OnlyFans, you see these OnlyFans women on there. I make 6 figures doing OnlyFans. What's the difference? I mean, really,
I mean,
it's a media life. It's media.
I gotta say, the OnlyFans ladies have a lot more to offer.
I wouldn't know. I don't get on the OnlyFans, Brad. You are single, man. You may find your next wife on there. I don't know.
I do. I definitely have a type. That would fit in, I guess.
Somebody said fried take. What's that mean? I don't.
A fried take. Oh, I don't know. Probably about my saying that the women of OnlyFans are lovely people. So,
well, it's like, and then they turn out to be your kid's second grade teacher.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's we got down the weeds a little bit there on that.
Well, no, I want to go back to one more thing. We'll probably wrap this up in the next 10 minutes or so. But the last thing I kind of want to talk about though is so with the student protest, and I sent you something too about Turning Point USA.
Yeah. I read that. I actually followed her. Thanks.
I know. I saw that, John. I freaking saw that. You're like, yeah, let's go. Let's sign up everybody for Turning Point USA. That was great.
I did.
Why did I even send them a link?
Honestly, I wouldn't even have followed it if I would have seen it on my own. But since you sent it to me, and I knew we were doing the show tonight, I had to give you a little business.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we talked earlier about the kids protesting and all the scheduled protests that are taking place, and our one of our best friends, Slick Witty, an indie reporter, has my favorite. Every time I see him post about a protest, I'm waiting for this response to expel them all,
or catapult, or drop them out of a helicopter.
Yeah, he is very on board with expelling the kids. Expelling the students for taking part in a exercise of their First Amendment right, regardless of whether it's genuine or not. I would just be leave school. But there's been a lack of issue with the post on the right from the Indiana House Republicans protesting or not even a protest. It was the March for Life, and it involved a lot of kids during a school day that that protested or that rallied around and saying be pro-life, no abortions, things like that. So I guess how is there a difference between the two?
Well, I think that this one's exclusively run by students, which I'm a big believer in project-based learning, and this would be a project that they all got behind and they all wanted to do. I go back to that same old proverb: grab a stray dog by the ears and see what happens. Or getting into somebody else's quarrel is like grabbing a stray dog by the ears. Choose your battles. And to me, there's been some protests that they didn't do a very good job. I'll give you an example. The No Kings protest they missed on that one.
Wait, which one? The first one or the second one?
Any of them. The No Kings.
The third one's coming up, John.
I know. I'm just saying, if it didn't work the first time and it would suck the first time, let's do it 3 more times.
I don't know. He keeps acting more like a king. Just saying.
Well, I get it. I mean, but this too shall pass, Brad. It's only 3 more years. Render to Caesar what's Caesar's. The more obstruction, the more it's going to get messy. And I hate to say that because my feelings about that. And I catch heck from people that are, I guess, on my side or whatever, on the Trump side about, how great he is. But the bottom line is with Trump, he is not establishment. If you want to boil this whole thing down to one thing, it's establishment politics. The Bushes, the Clintons, all that establishment against a business guy outsider. Is he crude, rude, and socially unacceptable? Yes. But is he not the politics as usual war machine type of, that we've had over the years? Yes. So, it's as the famous economist Milton Friedman said, where are we going to find these angels to lead our government?
Yeah.
We're not going to find somebody perfect, but
No, but I feel like we've
right now
strayed far from
we
whatever
are
standard we
way off
should.
the reservation. I mean, ever since he called Rosie O'Donnell a pig, it's been downhill since, as far as the rhetoric towards somebody. Brad loves the establishment.
Yes, I'm
Tommy
very
Ice. That is
establishment.
yeah.
Establishment.
That was an insult that we can't take, right, Brad?
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. I do agree that Trump is not establishment, but his kind of chaos is not benefiting America.
No,
It's benefiting him. Like that's
well, and I don't know if
he keeps
that's
making more money. He keeps.
I don't.
He's going to close he's going to close the Kennedy Center now because everybody's been backing out. He's going to close it on July 4th, 2026, and start some sort of expansion because that's really what's been bugging everybody is just
I think he's got the ADHD of business of everything.
He's got that ballroom on his mind.
He just hits and misses. Now the ballroom. Now that's another thing. The guy. It's not going to be done. He's not going to be able to really enjoy it's going to be. He's building it for somebody else. It's sort of like the poem, The Bridge Builder. If you want to look up a poem it's about an old man that's building a bridge, and a young man comes up while he's building it. And the young man says, "Hey, what are you building this bridge for? You're not going to be able to use it. You're too old. As soon as you get it done, you're not going to be able to use it." And he says, "I'm building it for you." And so you could look at it that way, or you could say, "Well, he's a so-and-so because he's doing this ballroom. Now, is it going to have a bunch of gold and gaudiness in it?"
Yes.
You betcha. You betcha it's going to be.
He is not doing this for anybody else but him. Nobody else has been asking for a ballroom. I really do want to
They need a place to have events. I mean, they do. I mean, they usually will set up a tent.
DC
or something
has
like that.
But they have.
Well, they have different centers. I mean, that's where we had when he had his Trump rally was at the stadium there, and there's plenty. You could do that,
like where the Capitals play and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And there's other venues that are like that. But another one. Choose your battles. Are we going to fight over a ballroom? Or are we going to fight over ice? Are we going to fight over?
He's tossing so many battles.
That's
difficult to even try to keep up.
Try to keep up.
That doesn't seem.
I want to put this back up again. Brad loves the establishment, huh?
I'm gonna get a shirt now that just says establishment. But no. I think let's wrap that up for tonight. With my love of the establishment. So on Tuesday though, because I do want to talk about the Georgia FBI raids. Just touch on those on Tuesday because I feel that's all in line with Trump.
Well, you probably have to get. I think we're going to have stolen. As far as I know, we're going to have Haywood Banks on, and we're not going to be
Banks. I don't know how the hell you pulled that off.
I just asked.
Thank you.
And
that was
he
awesome.
Knows I was shocked that he answered as quickly. So we'll see. He said sure, and I sent him the links. But and that's another thing with the mouthwash. If you're watching this show, you're going to see another premiere of things. I've changed the slogan from the Mouthwash Talk Show, a minty fresh take on politics, to a minty fresh take on life. So it's more of my digression or regression or whatever you want to call it out of politics. Like I said, down here, DeSantis is all I know is the governor. I don't, and people come up to me and talk to me about, I'm like, I don't want to know. It just never worked out for me trying to help the city of Indianapolis.
But are you already scoping out like your home districts?
No, nope, not even. Nope.
That was good.
No, I'm not. I got one of my friends is a building inspector down here in Seminole County, which is awesome because if I have to get a permit, I won't be political. I won't have, 2 inspectors busting my chops at the same time and 57 violations. I won't have that. And I've been able to get on group bike rides, find out the schedule. It's awesome. ride the bike Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, play golf Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and go fishing in between. I don't know if I can handle that schedule, but I sure am going to try.
Yeah, that sounds awful, John.
Yeah, terrible. But
when are you coming back to this tundra of Indiana?
We'll be back March 1st. And as I say, you really won't be able to tell that we're even going to be here. You won't know that there'll be some times, because Lisa still has her artist collective in Speedway that she does. There may be times where I'm here and she's not, or she's here and I'm not. But between us, we'll hold down the fort up in Indianapolis. Like I said, the art center is not going anywhere. My business is going to keep on going. The mouthwash is going to keep going. We just sort of changing it around. That's why I thought it was great to have Haywood Banks on. That's a good transition. We'll still have politicians on. But he's a great
Toast song, man.
He's 18 wheels on a big wheel.
Yeah.
I'm a big rig. He is one of my favorite comedians, one of my favorites. So I'm hoping it all works out. So far, looks like it's going to happen. Otherwise, we'll have a boring panel discussion. Then we can talk about your,
Well, no, we'll start. Me and Lucy and Tiffany, we'll all be plotting our flights down to Florida for the next.
That's right. I mean,
it's
that's one of the things we like to open our doors for everybody. And like I said, we'll still have our house in Mars Hill. It's just going to be a little different. And I tell you, I've not woken up to any gunshots. The peacocks are loud, but no gunshots. Not even any fireworks here. So it's just sort of interesting. And there's no tweakers in my yard. There's none of that. So it's just different. And not that I mind any of that. I mean, we just had, a few years of, we're back actually used to, and nobody's stolen.
Oh man, anything. Florida you're in Florida in the wintertime. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now, I will say that, we have not experienced the heat. I've been down here when it's hot in the summer, but not living. I know that the heat gets pretty bad, but the traffic, and the good news about traffic is, and I would say this to somebody your age that still works, that has, that would have to come down here and get a job, I would not suggest it, because you're going to be in the rat race. The traffic during rush hours is awful. You're going to be working all week, and then you try to go do something fun on the weekends. It's going to be crowded. So I will not go on the river on Saturday. I'll go during the week when nobody's there.
Yeah.
So it does. I think it does make a difference, the station in your life of how this would work. But I got to say, the not having the seasonal depression and the no dry skin. And Tiffany loves the fact that my skin is not dry. I know that she's thinking of that. And it just really has lifted my spirits. And I've had very much clarity on direction, and not only me, but Lisa as well. So, and I had to talk her into coming down here for a couple months. I had to talk myself into it, because I thought, no way in heck would I ever move to Florida. I just,
you guys seem to be enjoying yourself though. So that's,
it's, we have fun, even if we're just going to watch the crickets race. Although, there is some different critters down here. There's bears. The bears got in our
you guys have like bullfrog, or like frogs the size of like it's turtles. Just,
you should see these friggin' alligators that are down here. There's this one where I go fishing. He's probably 14 feet long. He just looks at me like, boy, don't fall out of that boat. I'll eat one of your legs.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared of an alligator. I got duct tape.
That's a tip.
Hashtag gator bites.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for the comments, and Tommy Ice. Yes, thank you. My TDS is genuine. Yes.
You don't even closely have it. I know people that are way.
I mean, like, if you get me going though, like, I hate so much.
You get a few Bud Lights in you. Yeah.
Yes. I dislike a lot about him. So, but I love The Apprentice. So I don't know.
Let's hope he goes back to that. Right.
Let's hope. All right, everybody.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Brad.
Yeah, John, thank you so much. Appreciate it.